Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Game Over Winnipeg. My name is Brady. I will be your host tonight after what was one of the most electric games of the season, the Winnipeg Jets winning over the Colorado Avalanche to currently take the top spot in the Central. It was a 6-2 game. Boy, oh boy, what a statement. What a statement win from this team. There's so much to talk about tonight. I am so excited to be here talking with you guys about this one. This was such a phenomenal game. And you know what? Let's just start it off. We'll start it off right at the start before we even get into the game, anything like that. Tonight was Southeast Asian Heritage Night. The Jets love to do this every year. I'm not sure how many years they've been doing it now, but always a ton of fun festivities at the rink. We saw on the broadcast, what it means for people in that community to have such recognition from a team in the community. Phenomenal. I thought the Jets did great. I know Alyssa, my co-host here on Game Over Winnipeg, was at the game tonight. She was letting me know the festivities were fun. You can see all the Bhangra dancing, in the concourse before the game. Of course, we get the phenomenal national anthem sung in both Canadian and Punjabi. Awesome. Just phenomenal all around. The Jets, big claps for everything there, but unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but we gotta talk. We gotta talk about this game. I am so excited to talk about this game. The Jets have been on a bit of a tear recently. They have been playing well ever since November. I mean, they've only had a couple skids here and there, but right now, they are right in the. They were right in the battle for first place in the Central Division. And tonight's game against the Colorado Avalanche obviously meant a lot for that, of course. So it was a big game, a very big one. Obviously, we won't know exactly till the end of the night if they are, in fact, first in the Central due to the Dallas Stars being a point ahead of the Jets coming into tonight's games. And facing off against the St. Louis Blues. I actually should bring up that scoreline. Maybe someone in chat can let us know how that is going over there. But yeah, this the Jets beat a team, the Colorado Avalanche, who won the Stanley Cup 2 years ago and is still generally a very, very good team, still a favorite in regards to potentially winning the cup this year, despite the fact that they maybe aren't as strong of a team as before. I mean, obviously, they still have Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, Valeri Nichushkin. That top line is phenomenal for the Colorado Avalanche. They've got the back end, Devin Tays, Bowen Byram. Obviously, Cale Makar, unfortunately, was injured tonight, and Ivan Prosvetov getting the start. So while the Colorado Avalanche are still a force to be reckoned with, they still aren't, they're not the team that they were a couple years ago when they did win the cup, of course. So this presents, again, like I said, the main thing that I'm trying to get across here is even before we talk about how the Jets perform, the Central Division is for the taking right now, guys. If you look around the league, the standings, the Central Division was the only team coming into tonight that didn't have a team at 40 points. And some of the other divisions had it in less games. So this really is the division that is probably the most up in the air, probably has the most room for a team to come in and take full reins of that spot. I've got someone in the chat here, Chelf. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. 3-2 Blues at the moment. That is great to hear. I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully it stays that way for the rest of the night, and we can end off the night saying the Winnipeg Jets finish the night in first place in the Central Division. But regardless, with the Avalanche maybe not being as good of a team as they were a couple years ago, of course they're still a great team. They still have the top end, and Dallas, one of the favorites this year to potentially win the cup. Jake Ottinger getting injured just the other night. There's a lot of run room a lot of runway in the Central Division to be taken, and the Jets are clicking at the right time, guys. Boy, oh boy, this was a fun game. Obviously, we all know Gabe Vilardi coming back from injury a couple of games ago. He has his revenge game against the Kings. That top line has looked good. I'm going to be talking a lot about them coming up here, but I mentioned this mainly just to say that the the Winnipeg Jets have kind of found something new with those guys. Maybe I'll jump into it right now because that top line was phenomenal tonight. Before we get into that, I think what is really, really important. Oh, sorry. I am so sorry. I'm cutting myself off back and forth. I remember what I was going to say. That top line was actually given a chance to fight and play matchups against Nathan MacKinnon's line, which is not something that the Jets usually do. They usually kind of stick Lowry's line on Nathan MacKinnon's line, or the top most dangerous line of the teams they're playing, especially when they have the matchup at home. They usually like to put Lowry up against up those guys, but tonight we kind of saw a bit of both. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get the perfect matchups every single time, whether it's icings, penalties, this, that, the other thing, but I was really happy to see that the Jets decided to put the Scheifele line up against another team's top line. That's something we don't get to see a ton of times. And boy, oh boy, did it work out. The Ehlers Scheifele Vilardi line tonight, 82% expected goals. That means if you're not an expected goals person, of the expected goals, which is just kind of a general value attributed to every type of shot, that every chance that is had, when they were on the ice, they had 82% of them, so that's pretty good. 50% would be even. They dominated tonight. They've dominated in the Kings game. They've dominated ever since they have been put together. This is the Winnipeg Jets top line. I love Kyle Connor. Listen, I love him. I think he is a phenomenal scorer. He's a great finishing piece to add to a line. If he was healthy tomorrow, there is no way that we can break this top lineup. They are playing like they are the Globetrotters. They went up against, like I said, one of the top lines in the NHL tonight, Nichushkin, MacKinnon, and Rantanen, and dominated them. This line was it was hilarious. I was watching this game and the amount of times in the first period that I was turning to my girlfriend just saying, I love this line. I love this line so much. I love this line so much. I love this line so much. Every single time, both on the forward ends, on the offensive side of things, this line is constantly creating chances. Even at the start of the game when the Jets were, they didn't get a ton of shots in the first 10 minutes, but they had a ton of chances that maybe the shots just weren't really registered because, it was broken up right at the last moment. I cannot stop raving about the Ehlers Scheifele Vilardi line because it just kind of has everything on it. Like Vilardi is, which we're going to talk about him a lot more tonight. Vilardi just kind of gives that line a bit of a defensive, big-bodied presence, kind of the thing that we were hoping that we could get when we put guys like Nino Niederreiter on that line, when we put Pierre-Luc Dubois on a line with Scheifele and Connor. Oh my God, it's just phenomenal seeing this line constantly controlling play in the offensive zone, and even when they're not necessarily getting the shots on immediately, they're holding zone time. And at the end of the day, if you're holding zone time, that means that's a lot of time that the opposing team's top line, again, against MacKinnon's line, that they're not in your end putting in their work. Like this was just a phenomenal game from these guys, and every single game that we've seen from this top line has been perfect. Oh my God. And this line just has everything to it. They've got speed with Ehlers on the entries. If you're ever having trouble getting into the zone, just give it to Nikolai Ehlers. He will either 1, chip it in and beat the guy to the puck, or 2, carry it in clean, or 3, carry it in, bring all the attention to himself, and then dish it off to someone who is, what's the word? In the weeds, as we like to call it. It's phenomenal. And, Scheifele, we all know that his ability to both score and play the puck playmaker style, passing the puck, creating plays. Remember last year when he was saying, I want to be the guy who is constantly, I prefer to go for quality of shots rather than quantity. We know that was a whole thing between him and Rick Bowness last year, but he's the perfect guy to mend the gap between Gabe Vilardi, a big, huge body who's good and tight on the net. I cannot stop singing this line's praises. It is truly, truly phenomenal. I'm gobsmacked. Like, I don't even know what to say about them. Like, everyone's watching them. Everyone's going like, this line is nuts. I know it's a small sample size, but if they keep trending the way they have been, there is no goddamn way you can split these guys up. You can't. If Kyle Connor comes back and you have to play him on the second/third line with Cole Perfetti, great. You just got a guy who's going to absolutely munch the opposing team's third line or whoever he gets matched up against. This is what has been so good with the Jets, is that they haven't had a fully healthy game all year. If we ever get to that point, like, having Kyle Connor potentially on your second or third line, it depends on what you want to call second and third, is such a great problem to have. Some people may want him to be with Scheifele and Vilardi, but there's truly no reason you break this line up right now. They have been phenomenal. Nick Ehlers looks like a speed demon out there every time he touches the puck. Mark Scheifele, and there was reason that they didn't want to play Nikolai Ehlers and Mark Scheifele together, because as I think it was one of the broadcast guys a while ago said, but just in general, Nikolai Ehlers is an east-west player, whereas Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor are north-south players. The chemistry is there. The chemistry is there between Scheifele and Ehlers and Vilardi. And like, this entire game was one of the best efforts, like, entire game wise from the Jets. Like, even though the Avalanche were kind of putting it on in the third period, I mean, the Avalanche got like a third of their shots on their power play. So other than that, like, offensively, the Jets won the expected goals game in regards to even strength offense. I've got so many thoughts about the Jets. I'm just so excited. I am so happy right now. I can't even tell you. It's Saturday night. The Jets won. Everything is looking great, despite the fact that they're battling adversity. As Rick Bowness said, we're going to keep winning for Kyle Connor. And that's what they have done. God. And you know what? Tonight was a win for Kevin Cheveldayoff. I don't know if anyone noticed this, but the goal scorers tonight: Gabriel Vilardi, twice, acquired in the offseason. Alex Iafallo, acquired in the offseason. Vlad Namestnikov, acquired at the trade deadline last year and then re-signed in the offseason. And Nino Niederreiter, acquired at the trade deadline last year and extended this year, given a new contract. All of these guys were guys that Chevy brought in. Like, listen, we can criticize Chevy for many, many things, for whatever it is that you want. I'll let you be the judge of what you want to criticize him for. This guy has won his trades. He has. I mean, look at like the obviously, I mean, we can't not talk about the Dubois trade. I mean, it's kind of the topic du jour every game. But like, Gabe Vilardi is currently at the moment playing better than Pierre-Luc Dubois and better than we could have ever imagined. And you know what it is too? He's playing Dubois' game better than Dubois. He's playing it like, what we were always told about Dubois was he was a guy who could use his physicality and his body to create chances and battle in front and playoff mentality. Is there a guy on this team that emphasis or that looks like a playoff player more than Gabe Vilardi right now? Like, this guy is scoring garbage goals. He's constantly in the right zones. Kevin Cheveldayoff, hats off to you, buddy. You got not only a better player, at least currently, we'll see if this comes to bite us in the ass someday. But I mean, hey, Gabe Vilardi also has 3 goals to Pierre-Luc Dubois' 4 goals on the season in, a third of the games. But not only did you get Gabe Vilardi, you got Alex Iafallo, who also chips in for a goal tonight and is a good shutdown player if you want to put him in that role. Rasmus Kupari, who, obviously injured, but has looks like he might have some potential. And I think we got a pick for him too. Like, what an absolute fleecing. At least right now, that's what it looks like. I am happy and I am excited. It's a good time to be a Jets fan, guys. It is a good time to be a Jets fan. I gotta pull up the St. Louis score here to make sure we can keep monitoring it. Also, hey, just want to say thank you all for being here and chat with me. I know it's a Saturday night. Obviously, we all got done watching the Jets game, but you guys could be out doing other things. I really appreciate you guys spending the time with me. We got just under 30 people here in the chat. Make sure you do like the stream. Because I mean, hey, like the stream for the Jets taking first place in the Central Division. Alrighty, I got to move on, but oh my God, just continuing on. Another guy I want to highlight tonight was Vlad Namestnikov, because this guy, I felt like every single time that not every single time, but I felt like he had a quietly incredibly good game tonight. Obviously getting the goal on the power play, finally breaking the curse of the power play that the Jets have had over the past however many games. Good to see him get a power play goal there. Fantastic. But also just like another thing I just wanted to highlight, like it really feels like Vlad Namestnikov is kind of the glue that has kind of been holding that second line together. I thought tonight, even the second line had a really good night. As far as if you want to go like line wise, they were, 60% expected goals. They looked pretty good. And Vlad Namestnikov is just quietly doing all the important things. He's always the middleman between passes. It seems like he's always the guy who's always there supporting Cole Perfetti when he breaks the puck into the zone, making the important passes. He makes the beautiful pass over to Nino Niederreiter on his goal. He on Alex Iafallo's goal, a goal where the second line, third line, whatever you want to call them, the Namestnikov Iafallo Perfetti line is hemming the opposition into the zone. Iafallo ends up chipping intercepting the puck in the high slot. And this is the one little thing. He throws a backhand shot on net, a great shot, mind you. Gotta praise Alex Iafallo. Happy to see him get the monkey off his back. It was his first goal in I wrote it down here, in 19 games. Really happy to see him get that. But a really important tiny little thing right before he shoots this puck. We already know that backhand shots are super evasive. They're difficult to follow. Right before he shoots this puck, Vlad Namestnikov just a nice little casual skate in front of Ivan Prosvetov. And I think that is the key that sealed this to being an easy goal. It's the little things. And I think Vlad Namestnikov, we all look at him and we want to praise him. We can all see that what he is contributing to this roster. But again, this is a guy who coming to the season we had projected on the fourth line. He's bounced around on how many teams playing in, let me think. In Tampa, I remember him playing. He played in Dallas. He played in Ottawa. Did he play in San Jose? I want to say he did. I don't know if he was just part of the, maybe he went there as part of a trade in order to get him to come here. But this is a guy who's bounced around and he's really found his home here on this team. It looks like he loves playing with these guys. I'm so happy to have a guy like this on my team. And again, he's filled a role that he wasn't supposed to. He was not supposed to be the second line center on this team. And he's come in and night out looks good and is just filling in the gaps. Fantastic game by him. I just wanted to give him a big clap because I thought he did phenomenal tonight. But you know what? I want to give a big round of applause to Rick Bowness and the coaching team, because tonight felt like a Rick Bowness win. This was a Rick Bowness blueprint game to the T, in my opinion. While the Jets maybe didn't get as many shots as, we like to say that Rick Bowness's system he likes to try and promote. What really stuck in it for me was that the buy-in from everyone tonight was phenomenal. There, despite the fact that the Avalanche got what? Let me see. I need to bring up the box score. I don't know. I know that the Avalanche definitely outshot the Jets. That is, but it never really felt scary. Like there was never a point in my mind, despite the fact that we're playing against Nathan MacKinnon, and Mikko Rantanen, all these guys that are absolute killers on the Avalanche. Despite all of that, I never really felt worried. Like it didn't really feel like the Avalanche were creating these crazy chances. There were a few here and there that, maybe occasionally you get a little bit worried, and then Connor Hellebuyck makes a save and you're like, oh, great. But like Connor Hellebuyck didn't need to be great tonight. And he made a couple really nice saves. I remember there was a couple, like a blocker save on the power play, or I guess PK for the Jets, when the Avalanche had a power play, but and a couple toe saves. But other than that, like, Connor Hellebuyck didn't have to do anything. It could have been LB in net. It could have been, I think, almost any NHL goalie, and the Jets would have won this game. Don't talk to me about butterfly effect and this and that, whatever. This felt like a team win. And as we were, going to the third period, before Kevin Bieksa gave the whole, there's no goals against Canadian teams yet tonight, which I'll let you be the judge on if jinxes are a thing or not. Coming to the third period, and I was just thinking, like, if the Jets end up getting a shutout tonight, if Hellebuyck gets a shutout tonight, I was ready to come on here and say that was a team shutout, because the buy-in was complete for the team. There was not a chance where the Avalanche came up the ice and there wasn't a forward back checking. The defense had. It's such a small thing, but their sticks were constantly in the lanes. Like the amount of times I can think of the Avalanche coming in and like Nate Schmidt or Dylan DeMello or whoever, just getting their stick in the lane as they're trying to make their zone entry and then pass across. Like that was so often tonight. And same thing with the forwards. They had the buy-in to come back. And as soon as there was, a puck broken up by a defender's stick, the Jets were great at just corralling the puck and coming back up ice. I mean, that's how which goal was it? It was the first goal. It was the first goal. I mean, actually that was kind of a neutral zone one, but, regardless, point is the team played like a team tonight. It was so good. I truly believe that was one of the best Jets wins of the season. Let me know what you guys think in chat. I can see you guys are teeing off right now, having fun. I would love to hear what you guys thought about the game, as well as if you guys got any questions, since we're already 25 minutes. I feel like I just started the show but regardless, this was a phenomenal win by the Jets. All around, this team played phenomenally. I am so happy to be a Jets fan at this moment. And it's almost kind of, I'm getting a little bit flustered. Like, I don't even know what to say. Because like that game just felt like such a statement that it's like, it almost feels not reductive, but what's the word? Not reductive, the other one. Just redundant. There we go. To come in here and just say the Jets played well, because it felt so obvious to me that this team was the better team tonight and put their bodies on the line. They played well. Wow. Such a great game. Alrighty. It's, like I said, throw some questions in chat if you do have any. But other than that, I kind of just want to talk about how the goals were scored tonight. Because all of them felt like a team effort. Again, that's kind of my thoughts on the game tonight, was that it was such a team win. Let's just talk about the first goal. Of course, this is Gabe Vilardi getting his first goal for the Jets. This happens, I can't remember how far into the game it was, but this was just such a nice play all around from this top line, as well as Josh Morrissey. So there's a battle on the boards just outside of the blue line. You've got the support from, I want to say it was Vilardi who was battling on the boards. Nikolai Ehlers was in tight with him. And then Scheifele was kind of just being the third man there, waiting for the puck to bounce out. Josh Morrissey ends up being the one who corrals the puck, brings it into the zone, just throws it into open ice. Scheifele fights off the defender, draws the second defender over. He just goes to show how you can tell that the Avalanche felt panicked in this moment. Corrals the puck after fighting him off and throws it over to Gabe Vilardi, who, man, it doesn't seem that difficult. If anyone here has played hockey, sometimes, receiving the puck on your foot and then getting a shot off, especially when you have a wide open net, doesn't seem like a difficult task. But when you're in tight like this, when the puck comes across and I want to give credit to Scheifele for getting that pass across. But man, Gabe Vilardi is, the few things that I saw about him, I remember Nick Lynham and I a couple games ago were talking about how he plays, and how he scores goals. This guy is an animal in front of the net. He's got such great hands, whether he's tipping pucks in or getting garbage goals. This was kind of a bit of a hands play to be able to kick the puck up to his stick. Obviously, the wide open net there, a great sell from Scheifele to get both the defenders on him. Ivan Prodzitov has no chance, and Gabe Vilardi throws it right in. Again, moving on to the next goal, of course, Vlad Namestnikov does score off the power play. This was, again, a very simple goal for the Winnipeg Jets. They win the draw, goes back to Schmidt. He puts it over to the wall, where Neil Pionk is. He throws it down low to Alex Iafallo, makes a nice pass in front to Vlad Namestnikov, who scores off of the defender's stick. I don't even think his own stick actually touched it. He shot the other player's stick, got it in. Fantastic. I am so happy. So again, so good. Glad to see that the Jets power play figured it out there. And you know what? Maybe we should talk about the power play, because I kind of have talked a little bit about each of the goals. While I don't know how to say this without sounding malicious and bad, I love Kyle Connor. I really do. I genuinely believe that while it is unfortunate, I think that his injury has unlocked options for the Jets that they would never have tried before. And I think that is the truth when it comes to the top line. I don't think that we would have seen Connor willingly taken off of that top line and pulled down, as well as, we haven't seen Nikolai Ehlers on that top unit yet, on the power play, as well as just in general, that power play's philosophy was always get the puck to Kyle Connor and he will shoot the puck and we'll figure it out from there. Now the power play, again, I said this a while ago after he had gotten injured, and Nick and I did the show the other day. It feels like the power play has taken a step into realizing that, okay, we can manage the puck, we can hold the puck, we can find our chances when we want them. Since Kyle Connor's injury, the Jets power play has consistently had like minute to minute and a half, not chances, but zone control with the puck, where it feels like before, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure, the previous unit frequently would have issues where either one, no shots would get off and it would just kind of go around the outside, or the opposing team would steal the puck and get it out. And then they would have issues getting into the zone and this and that and blah, 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 and this and that. Whereas now it feels like the Jets are working the puck around a lot more, as well as getting a little bit more movement. I still think that this power play unit is incorrectly placed. Again, Nick and I chatted about this a while ago. I think you just have to put Cole Perfetti on the right side where Ehlers is currently, put Ehlers in Scheifele's spot, which is on the left side wall, where he can then use his speed to go up and down the ice and take shots, or put the puck into the middle, or if nothing's there, rim it around the boards to whoever's to Perfetti on the other side. And that's the thing, is with this current power play setup, it feels like we've taken a step in the right direction, in the sense of it feels more dangerous, but they're still not getting the great high danger chances off yet. I remember there was one power play. I'm trying to look for my notes on it here. I got my mic's in the way. I can't even see. Where was it? All I remember is that the Jets had a power play. They kept trying to pass it into the middle to Cole Perfetti, maybe because the Vlad Namestnikov goal happened and you're trying to get it into the middle of the slot, but Cole Perfetti just was not available for that shot. And so I just don't, and as much as I love Shifley and I think that he's got a playmaking ability, you can't pass to a guy who isn't open. It's just not going to work, unless you're Vlad Namestnikov and you can shoot another guy's stick to hit the puck. So again, and I remember there was also another power play that the Jets had tonight where they were managing the puck really well, they were moving it really well, but then the finally when they got the chance, it was when Ehlers moved over to that left side and drove the net and took a shot, and then there was some chaos in front. I really think that you have to put Shifley in the slot. He is such a quick shot. He is so good on at shooting in small spaces. If you have him there, that's historically been the best place for him on the power play. So I think that's where he needs to go. And yeah, but like I said, it's really interesting to see that the Jets now do have chances and are able to try things that they haven't been able to in the past. Like I said, we would have never seen Ehlers on this top line. We would have never seen no Kyle Connor on the power play. And listen, I want Kyle Connor on the power play. I would love to have him either in that middle slot area near down low, because I think that he's a guy with such great hands and tight, and could score goals like how kind of Gabe Vilardi has been, with whether it's tipping or whether it's tipping the puck or whether it's driving the net, kind of like how Cole Perfetti did a couple games ago. This team is looking really good. And as I said, I don't even want to talk about the rest of the goals. I've already kind of talked about them in general. This team is looking really good. And I don't know about you guys. For the people who are in here with me on a Saturday night, please do like the stream. I really appreciate you being here with me. Are you guys all in? A game like this tonight makes me say to myself, I am all in on this team. This team has the pieces. It is all coming together. If this top line can consistently win their matchup as they have been, they're going to keep scoring goals, having guys like Gabe Vilardi, Nikolai Ehlers, Mark Scheifele on that top line. Okay, think about this. Think about that. So we already have line one already winning their matchups. That is phenomenal. A thing we have not had on the Winnipeg Jets in a long time. You have that. And then you have the Lowry line, which has been a little bit weak as of late. Hasn't been, putting the puck in as much as they used to. But at the same time, you look at that line, you go, I know that I can feel safe with you guys out there. Whether it's moving, Niederreiter off that line and maybe trying to help the second line, despite the fact they had a good game tonight. And you put Iafallo there, whatever you want to do, you know that you have a third line that can go out and shut down other teams' top lines, second lines, whoever it is they're playing against, of course. And then you have that second, third line with Perfetti, who and when healthy, Kyle Connor potentially, and then you go out and you potentially get someone at the deadline. Even if you don't, Vlad Namestnikov has been phenomenal in that spot. I still think that you would, in an ideal world, if you're the Jets and you're going for it, that's a spot that you want to upgrade. It's up to the coaching staff and Kevin Shabbatlev to decide if they need to go out and get a center specifically, because if they don't trust Perfetti there necessarily, I still think they should give him another shot because, he had such little time and it was at the start of the season. Now that the season's in the swing of things, I would love to see him get another chance in the middle. But regardless, you have a second/third line that, with the right piece, can be as effective as a first line, maybe even, especially if you're playing against weaker competition. And the fourth line, which I haven't even gotten to talk about those guys tonight, had such a phenomenal game. David Gustafsson, just guy does not lose board battles. AJF, again, will probably not be on the roster if he's if the Jets do make any moves, and of course when Kyle Connor gets healthy. But phenomenal on the PK tonight. Always good to have a burst of speed in that bottom six. Morgan Barron, do I need to say anything more? Everybody loves this guy. He's an absolute, he's just got a motor. This guy is constantly going, pretty big, can hit, can also play a shutdown role, can sometimes have a goal every now and then. The Jets have a lot of interesting pieces, and everything on the back end too. Josh Morrissey, Dylan DeMello, who I forgot to even mention. He literally saved a goal tonight on the power play. There was one where he just got in the way of a shot and knocked away a pass that was going to, I think it was Mikko Rantanen on the side of the net. Was for a for sure goal that he stops. If you're able to move that guy down, if you trade for a top line defenseman, even if you don't, this decor is pretty good. Like, you have to admit that they are it. While it is the weakness of the Jets, they're fine. I say that now, but no team is perfect. And I think that if it was just this core, maybe Ville Heinola can come in and hopefully, cement himself in this lineup, maybe improve it. If not, you can potentially trade for somebody at the deadline. This team has the juice. I remember a couple games ago, I was talking with my good buddy Mike Stevens from the Hockey News. He doesn't watch as much Jets games as we do, obviously. But I remember, and it was also it was the Nashville game. It was the one where Laurent Brossoit plays, and he lets in the crappy goal from the from the corner. He said the Jets do not have the juice, and you know what? The Jets heard him and have been one of the best teams in the league since November. This team is good. And their top scorer isn't even in the lineup right now, guys. The top scorer is, I think they said he's got 18% of the Jets goals this season. Like, come on, guys. Come on. This, I am scared to say this. I'm going to say it. But I'm scared to say it because I'm scared of getting hurt. This team has 2017-18 vibes to them. I'm ready to say it. I know it's only December. I know what happened last year, but this is different. This team is different than last year. We have a whole other extra season with Rick Bowness, with everyone getting used to it in the lineup. One of the big things that went wrong last year was that, and I'm not going to pin this on Blake Wheeler at all, but it was very clear that the Jets hadn't moved on from that era of their team. I've had many people tell it to me that basically, despite the fact that they removed the letter from Blake Wheeler, when times got tough last year, that's the guy they turned to. And this is a different team this year. Not only is the vibes better, Adam Lowry has shown the perfect amount of leadership for this team. I think this team would run through a wall for him. I think everyone on this team would run through a wall for each other. On top of that, not only that, but this team is better. I've already said how I think Gabe Vilardi is clearly at the moment playing better than Pierre-Luc Dubois is. But not only that, you don't have to go with the ebbs and flows of Pierre-Luc Dubois' season. That's a guy who is very streaky. And let's be honest, guys. It sounds. I would have said this last year, even when he was on our team. That's a guy who goes up and down, rides the waves of consistency, and if he gives a shit, if he wants to play. Whereas it feels like this team every night in and night out, wants to play for each other. And then on top of that, not only did you get back Gabe Vilardi for Pierre-Luc Dubois, who is also at a much cheaper contract, you get guys like Iafallo who can fill out the middle of the roster, Rasmus Kupari, who could be one, either a piece in some sort of trade, or two, has potential to be a roster player for this team. Guys, this is not the same team. This team is more consistent. The vibes are different. I don't think I'm overreacting when I say that this team has the chance to potentially do something special this year. It's up to them, and all I can say is I'm excited to be on the ride with it. I'm excited to be able to chat with you guys all about it. And you know what? We've been going for 42 minutes. If there's any questions in the chat, throw them in there. But I think I am pretty much going to shut this down right away. Although I do see Gareth B saying Lindstrom. I imagine you mean Elias Lindholm. Lindholm, I want to say, is probably who you're thinking. Gareth B says Lindholm from the Flames, he should be a target. While I do agree, I also disagree. I think that the cost for him is going to outweigh what his potential, what he could potentially provide for the roster. If I'm looking at any Flames player personally, it would be Chris Tanev. And we got some news, of course, too, on from Saturday Night Headlines. Lots of stuff happening as we do approach the trade freeze that is upcoming. The one thing that Elliot mentioned that was of interest to me that picked my ears up was that St. Louis has been doing a lot of talking, and I'm sure you guys have heard and seen all of the rumblings of how a lot of Jets Twitter guys, I think it was Max the Silent, I want to give him credit, started pushing the Pavel Buchnevich vibe. That's a guy who I would absolutely love. He's got his contract goes on till next year. I want to say it's like $6 million. But that's a guy who can play center for you, can play wing. Imagine that guy playing with Perfetti and Connor. You got Ehlers, Scheifele, Velarde, Perfetti, Buchnevich, Connor, Lowry, Nino, Appleton, or Iafallo, Vlad Namestnikov, and Morgan Barron. You're able to kick like so many people out of the lineup for that. Like, it is fantastic. I got Lucas in here updating us. It is 3-3 now, Stars and Blues. Regardless, if the Stars even do end up winning tonight, I'm confident the Jets will keep pushing for first, even if they aren't able to get it. But regardless, a couple other names that I know have been floating around. I remember the other day on Kenny versus Rennie. Kenny versus Benny is in my head. Kenny and Rennie. Ken Weeb was proposing Jake Gensel as a potential option, considering the Penguins weren't doing so well. And if you look tonight, I think they were down 7-0 to the Leafs. Good grief. That's a guy who might be able to get. My only concern with him, not a centerman, which again, I still want to see Perfetti in the middle, but I also think that Jake Gensel is kind of a player who's a bit more akin to a Kyle Connor than whoever else you want to say on the roster. And what I mean by that is he's not necessarily a play driver, but a high end complementary piece. And I don't think that is, taking away from Kyle Connor or Jake Gensel when I say that. It's more just, and because those pieces are incredibly important. You need guys who can finish plays and who can ride with players. But if he were to play on his own, I don't think that he'd be able to produce what he has been. I mean, he's kind of been riding shotgun with Sidney Crosby his entire career. So while I am interested in that type of player, that's if you can for sure put him with a centerman who you trust and are confident in. So that's an interesting name. And there's been more and more names that are coming up each and every day. I'm sure the Jets will do some sort of move here. It seems like the Jets are really committed to going all in. And hey, Chevy has had a good track record with his trades recently. So I'm excited to see what happens. But anyways, like I said, guys, it's about time I wrap it up. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with me. If you're listening back on the replay later, regardless, thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoy your Saturday night. Please do like the stream. We got a bunch of people in here, not enough likes for the amount of people we got in here. So please do that. Make sure you subscribe to SDPN Sports. We are about 2,500 away from 100K. Come on, guys, be a part of it. Get in there. And then on top of it, follow me on Twitter at NHL Chunky. Follow at SDPN. And have yourselves a safe and fun Saturday night. We will see you guys soon. I'll be joining you guys next time when the Jets face off against the Habs. And that is on Monday night. We're going to be doing a co-stream. It'll be me and the big boss man, Andrew Berkshire, coming to you guys with a stream right here on SDPN. Don't miss out on that. I look forward to it. But once again, have yourselves a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys Monday.